Today's topic of my presentation is John Green's Blame the Stars book analysis. Today's topics is date, theme and genre, short story, characters, writer's opinion, quotes, competition. The first one, date. The sixth novel by American writer John Green was published in 2012. It was included in the publisher's weekly bestseller list in 2013 and 2014. Themes and genre. A novel written in the first person and narrated about a 16-year-old girl with cancer. The novel Blames the Stars is among the number of books that cannot leave a trace in the soul of the reader. And it's not just because it's about a teenager with cancer. Also, the topic of illness and death is the basis for the development of the storyline. Paradoxically, the novel is filled with life. The terminally ill girl and the boy fell in love. They tried to lead a normal life, going on dates, traveling across the ocean, but the disease won, and the guy died. Hazel had a favorite book that she had read over and over again, but the book has no end in sight. It's unclear what will happen to the heroes. Hazel wrote letters to Mr. Van Houten with great enthusiasm. He only discussed such things in private. He didn't intend to leave Holland and invited a girl to visit, knowing that he had terminal cancer. On the translator flight, Hazel lacked both health and money. The Lancaster family spent all their savings on her daughter's treatment. The Janie Foundation gave children with oncology the fulfillment of their wish, but Hazel spent her wish on a trip to Disneyland. On Saturday, Gus announced that he would spend his wish on a trip to Holland. The attending physician Hazel allowed her to fly with an adult. The family council decided that she was going with Mom and Gus. Characters. Hazel Grace Lancaster. Hazel can only breathe with a special oxygen tank. Because of this, the girl rarely leaves the house, often just lies in bed and read one book all the time. Her mom decides she is depressed, starts insisting that Hazel go to cheerleading. Hazel had a very kind family that helped her and supported. Her parents loved and tried to give her the best. Also, Hazel has only a few months to live and her life may end at any moment. Hazel's parents hold on and don't show their suffering while trying to realize their unfulfilled dreams. With the power that her parents give her, Hazel doesn't become depressed, but continues to live on, finding as much positive as possible in life. Next one, Augustus Flores. Is the main character and the male love interest in the fault in love in our stars. He's the best friend of Isaac and Hazel Grace's boyfriend. As with his girlfriend, he suffered from cancer, especially osteosarcoma. A few years ago, he was diagnosed with bone cancer and his leg was taken away to the knee. It was replaced by a prosthesis. After that, Gus was declared BPR without sign of cancer. He kept his eyes on Hazel throughout the meeting. And next, background characters. First one is Peter Van Houten. Is a crucial character. He's the author of Hazel's favorite book, An Imperial Affliction, and the father of Anna van Houten. Isaac, his best friend of Hazel Grace and Augustus Warner. He had an eye cancer known as retinoblastoma. He also had one glass eye and one real eye. Then the other real eye was removed and his neck. Next one is Mr. Lancaster. Is a background character. She is Hazel's mother and wife to Mr. Lancaster. Mr. Lancaster is the father of Hazel and Mrs. Lancaster's husband. He is described as a very caring, emotional father and is especially emotionally preoccupied with his daughter's illness. The author's opinion of this book. I honestly have no idea, so I can try to guess from my own experience. The story is sometimes funny, sometimes sad, but not sentimental. It has sincerity and a recognized reality. It doesn't have what's usually found in disease books, where the patient transmits some wisdom to the healthy. In his opinion, to construct a narrative in this way is to destroy the story that you have at your disposal. Maybe the fact that I built my book. In his opinion, to construct a narrative in this way, it destroys the stories that you have at your disposal. Maybe the fact that I built my book in a very different way helped its readers. The next one is quotes. First one is depression is a side effect of dying. And second one, it's my love. Without pain, how would we know joy? The only thing worse than being a teenager with oncology is being a kid with oncology. The next is competitive. The description of the suffering to which patients are subject is very impressive to many, especially for children. When reading the book, the reader begins to empathize with the parents who are watching the worst thing imaginable, the slow extinction of their child. A bit of a sad ending. After returning home, August's health begins to deteriorate. He realizes that his illness is progressing and decides to rehearse his funeral. He dies a few days later. Peter Van Houten is coming to his funeral, but Hazel won't even listen to him. The next day, after Gus's funeral, Hazel learned from Isaac that Gus was writing a sequel to her favorite book.